Hey everybody on YouTube, how you guys doing? It's me, Avialence, here with a special video covering a new game I started playing called Warframe. So welcome to Warframe. Now many of you guys are asking, what is Warframe? Well, it's actually a free-to-play kind of third-person shooter. The way I describe it is if you take the Mass Effect multiplayer, the co-op survival multiplayer, and then take that as the husband, and then put the wife in as like Diablo 2 loot style, and then they had a baby. That's exactly what this game is. So it's a third-person combat-oriented shooter like Mass Effect, with a loot system, card system, and upgrade system that you'd find in Diablo 3. It's so intense loot-wise, which is something that really makes this game have a lot of replayability. Now, as far as Warframe goes, you do pick a Warframe. So you're playing as a Tenno, who's a Warframe pilot, and you're going out to get rid of all these different species that are taking over the galaxy, so to speak. The premise is a little kind of shaded. I didn't really look into a lot of the backstory. However, the gameplay is where it counts, and the backstory is also there if you guys are interested. So let's go ahead and jump into Warframe, and I did want to start actually by the menu we're at now. So this is the mission menu. Now you'll notice in the top tab here that I have a couple different tabs. We're going to go through all of these, so rest assured. Now the menu here, as you can see, has many different planets. Some of them are locked, while some of them are unlocked. Now you will start at one planet. So the first one you'll start at is Mercury. Now, whenever you enter a solar system, you'll have different missions that you can do. These will have different targets for different races, different types of missions, and then a level requirement. Now, as long as you can complete the mission, it'll unlock the next one, and you kind of go so forth, so forth, so forth, and then unlocks different paths to different systems. So here you'll see the Venus system, or the Venus planet, rather. So there's a lot of really interesting things that you see here. Now, these planets will become unlocked the further you go. So you'll see I've unlocked Mercury, Venus, Mars, and then Saturn. And you'll just keep unlocking missions as you go, which unlock more paths to different planets to continue on. So you do have that, and that's currently what's in there mission-wise. Now, on top of that, what are a couple things you see here? So you notice up here, this is my player tag. This is my overall level, my Tenno level. I have a couple boosters here because I did just buy Warframe. My regular credits, and then my platinum. Now, platinum is like a cash shop. However, one thing I do want to say is that you can obtain everything that they sell in the cash shop by just farming the loot in the game. It just takes a lot longer. So, let's go ahead and click on my profile here. You see that I'm an initiate. That's my overall rank. Silver initiate will be next after I get 1,500 XP. Now, this XP is different than your weapon XP and your Warframe XP, which I'll show you here in a minute, in the fact that you collect it. It's called affinity, and it's collected on the levels. Plus, you get, some skill points as you do complete the levels. But you have to pick up these little orbs called affinity. Now you'll notice here that I have a ton of different stats. Missions completed, missions failed, missions quit, my gross income, my skill level, my time played. You can see I put about 4.5 hours into this game, so I am not an expert. For all you Warframe experts out there, this is just a little introduction video. Completion rate, ciphers solved, ciphers failed. These are like a little hacking mini game, combat stats, and more. So you have a lot of stuff in there, which is really cool. Now, after you kind of go out of here, you'll notice that you also have different tabs. So the first of these is your game mode. You can host a private game, you can go online, kind of like a matchmaking, and then you can also do a solo game. Solo is currently what I'm on. That's what I'll use for the purpose of this video. Then you also have the arsenal. So here's where it gets a little complicated. This is your Warframe. You pick a Warframe. There's many different Warframes that you can pick from. Each have a different skill set. And you also have your primary, your sidearm, and then your melee weapon. Now, you can carry these three weapons at once, and they're interchangeable, and we'll walk through it here in a second. You'll notice that I have abilities, right, and I can use these abilities as much as I want. You also notice that I have a Sentinel here. Sentinel is like a little kind of NPC guardian that follows you around. You can actually spec your Sentinel to do different things. So you'll notice here that I can pull up my mods, and then I can swap in modifications. Now, this is how every single item will look on the Warframe, which is really intensive. You'll also be able to change the color palette of anything you get. Weapons, anything visual, so to speak. Now, going back out, let's go ahead and go into my Warframe. So you'll see that I have the color palette here. I have different helmets I can change that are unlockable as you obtain more loot and build them. You also have the color palette, like I said, where you can just change colors. There's multiple different ones. You do have to buy them with plat, though, which is unfortunate. I wish there was a way to obtain them otherwise, but so far as I know, there's not. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the mods here. So you'll see that I have an 18 mod capacity because I'm Frost 9. So as you use a Warframe, it'll level up and grant you more mod capacity. So you'll see here that I have different slots that I can fill in. And based on your positioning of these slots, some are built for certain slots with these symbols you see in the top right-hand corner of each slot. And you're actually able to put more in than you can actually use on your Warframe, which is really cool. So you'll see that I have my 4 main abilities here: Freeze, Snow Globe, Ice Wave, and Avalanche. And then I also have 2 basic abilities that power up my Warframe, so you do have that as well. Now, it's possible to obtain other ones such as Thief's Wit, which give you loot radar, extra sprint speed, as you can see with Rush. And these mods are collected on various levels or bought through the Platinum Store. Now, the cool thing is that my Warframe isn't only fully customizable. My weapons are too. You're able to get tons of different weapon mods throughout the levels for different types of weapons, which is just awesome. I'm using the Paris bow currently, and it's very enjoyable. I love the bow, as you'll see in my gameplay videos. You also have pistols, so you have the pistol there, and you can do different things in here. So plus 15% ammo maximum, plus 20 multi-shot. You're able to do a lot of different things with these guns. And same with your melee weapons. So I have dual axes here, and I'm able to put in different things to boost my melee capacity. Now, the one thing that's also very cool is, with your mods, you can actually fuse them. So if you have 2 mods that do roughly the same thing, or you want to have 2 mods that kind of do the same thing, you can actually fuse mods together in order to do that, or also power up the mods themselves. So if a mod isn't as damage boosting as you want it to be, you can actually just pop it up, have it go through, and bam, done. Now you have a new mod, or a more powerful mod. And since different mods are for different pieces of equipment, you can do this tons of different times. Now, in order to fuse mods, you do need a fusion core. They drop throughout the mission, or you can get the blueprint to create them. So it's pretty decent. Now let's go ahead and go back here. Keep in mind that I am going pretty quickly. This is just a light overview, so you guys know what's going on. So you do have that. You also have the inventory. These are your Warframes, the weapons you currently own and their ranks, and also mystic items. You can equip mystic items here, like you'll see I have a shield restore, ammo box for sniper, large health restore, and a cipher. So you can equip different gear for different missions, and they stay in your inventory, and actually you just hold Q down in the mission, and it'll pop up, and you'll be able to see all that. So that's the arsenal, right? And just a quick overview. You also have contacts, which is your basic friends list, right? Nothing too complicated. Then you have your market. Now, the market is everything here. You'll notice that there are bundles, and these apparently change throughout each piece of it. Wrecking Rhino, Female Warframe. I bought the Stay Frosty pack to get Frost in all of his gear. You can also buy individual Warframes with Platinum, or you can buy the schematic. Now, the interesting thing here is with schematics. You can buy the schematic for almost anything in the game. And the schematic basically lets you use resources to craft that specific thing instead of buying it in the cash shop, which is nice. So I'm going to continue going through the market here, and then I'll show you the schematic system. I'm not very versed in the schematic system, but I just wanted to show you for the sake of showing you. You see you have like fists here, a giant weapon, axe, and then you have all the blueprints for those. Then you also have equipment, and equipment are mods, boosters, stuff like that. And then you can also buy platinum. So you do have that option with the buy platinum. It's nothing too super fancy, but platinum is very expensive in this game. Very expensive to say the least. I don't know who did the crossover judges there, but they kind of messed it up. Now here you'll see the foundry. Foundry, you'll see that I'm able to craft this. These are supplies you pick up from various systems. Now different systems drop different supplies. And you're able to craft different things here. These are the 3 blueprints that I'm currently working on. So you can definitely build all these different things out of them. And I like how reasonable it is. So example, if I want to build a Kimbo Boltos, I have to build 2 Boltos and then get an Organ cell, right? Bam, build it. So it's actually really nice how you can do that. Now, these do have a manufacturing cost and a build time, unfortunately, but I think it's all there, and it definitely allows you to have a little bit of fun with the whole system. Now, for Warframes, you do have to kill bosses in certain systems in order to unlock, headpiece, chest, boots, arms, all that, in order to build the Warframe, which is definitely really cool. So you can kind of see how it's pretty big overhaul to Warframe, and it's definitely interesting kind of what's going on and how they handle things. So it's a pretty cool system. And what I'm going to do now is I actually pulled a couple gameplay clips from yesterday evening when I was playing with a couple of the guys. We just picked it up last night. Now, personally, I've been in the beta for Warframe, the closed beta, for quite some time. I get a beta key back in, I think, January. I just never really got into it. I enjoyed playing it, but it's much better with a group of friends. It's free on Steam right now, so definitely check that out. But let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay before I do all my concluding statements about the game. Alright, so now we're in Warframe combat here. Now, there's 3 clips that I took this from. 2 are from me and my buddy Thomas. You guys know him as Private Firewake on the live streams and on Avialence Media videos, and then we also have one of me, him, and Josh, otherwise Zombie Sauce, on the live streams, one of our moderators, and we just went ahead and did a couple clips. This is actually me and Firewake doing a capture and hold mission, so it's actually like a defense mission, and there's tons of different missions that you will be able to do throughout Warframe. You'll notice that the environments look stunning, very stunning, breathtaking almost. I mean, the environments are very well done. The visuals in this game look great. Now, I am playing this on the highest settings, so you do have that. But, again, I mean, you can tell it looks great. Now, you'll notice a couple things. That, one, the HUD's very minimal. So, the map is on the upper left-hand corner. The little exclamation point is the objective that you're trying to get to. And the other thing, too, in Warframe is combat flows very well. I actually did try it with a controller, and the controller works well, too, but I personally prefer the PC controls. That's just me. And I noticed in the upper right-hand corner, though, that I also have abilities. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, with a blue bar and a green bar. Now, Frost 7 is the level of my Warframe at the time, the Warframe that I'm in. The blue bar is my power or my energy. Now, the energy is how I use those abilities, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These abilities are my main abilities and are different based on the Warframe. So while some Warframes may have healing abilities, some may have offensive. Mine's Frost, so it's all Frost-oriented abilities. Snow Globe, for example, summons this huge AoE kind of blizzard thing you'll see a couple times in this video. But each of these drains power. Now, each of these abilities also, while it drains power, it drains a different level of power based on what ability you're using. Now, you'll notice, too, that the bow and arrow combat, again, very smooth. I'm not using a rifle on any of these clips. I'm all with the bow, so I apologize for that. The rifle's just as smooth, but you will be able to swap easily between most of your weapons. So your melee weapons are queued up using E. You can hold down E to do a power slash. You'll see me do that a couple times in the next clip here. And that's like your power slash, and then you also have like combat rolls, slides. You can wall run in this game. You're like a space ninja, which is just awesome. So you can actually wall run by just sprinting and then jumping near a wall and holding down the jump button to wall run. It's ridiculous. It's not really my playstyle, but as you can see, Thomas likes to run around with his bow staff, which is, I think this is a game that he was first trying it on and really not enjoying it because it wasn't killing everything brutally, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so that's kind of the highlight. I mean, combat's great. It flows so well. It's really hard to describe. That's why I wanted to show you guys instead of just talking about it. There's so many different objectives too. So far I've encountered stuff like raid, where you just raid a base and destroy something. There's sabotage, where you'll go take out a reactor core. There's extermination, where you wipe out all the alien infestations on the planet, as you'll see in this clip here, which are kind of like flood-like, I guess. They're really, really weird, but they're flood-like, and they're all melee and try to eat you and toxic and all that. But, you know, altogether, I mean, it's such an enjoyable experience. And you see the environments differ. There's really 3 main environments I've seen. The snowy plateau area. You also have the cave area, which you'll see here, and then the spaceship, which you saw in the first, or you'll see in the last clip, rather. So the environments also are very randomized. So the nice thing is you'll never play the same level twice. However, the rooms are the same, if that makes sense. So it'll randomly generate rooms and areas, but their landscape and like kind of set piece, it will always be the same. So you do have that. But hey, you know, what works, right? So that's kind of the big thing. But again, the game just looks beautiful, as you can tell. In Warframe, I mean, this is a free-to-play game. You know, when you start, you pick one of 3 starter frames. There's tons of different Warframes that have different powers. I've personally played a lot with Frost, and then I also did Excalibur at first. And if you're just starting out, I would recommend Excalibur or Volt. Thomas went with Loki, and he really enjoys Loki. But the big thing is you get to pick one of 3 starter frames, and it's a pain to get another frame. So do a little investigation and look into your playstyle before you actually pick a frame. Now I'm going to be learning more with Warframe and playing a lot more. I'll be uploading some gameplay clips, but I also wanted to upload some guides. That's kind of the big thing. I want to try to do a few like kind of how-tos for Warframe after I personally have a much bigger understanding of the game. So that's kind of that. This again, you'll see this is actually a boss fight. Now we're obviously over leveled for this boss fight. We have a lot better gear and stuff, as I'm sure you can clearly tell because I'm just running in and running out. You'll notice too that my shields and my health, which are also different based on each Warframe, are located in the upper right hand corner, 150 being my shields, 95 being my health. Now, if you do die, you go down, you're able to be revived by a teammate, as you saw me doing with Thomas in the first clip that I showed you guys. I don't understand how his legs are that thin and holds up that body. I really don't. Anyway, though. So, you do have that. And again, it's very smooth, guys, especially for something that just entered open beta. The only gripe I really have with this game is the platinum system. It's the cash shop, and what they ask for with platinum is, I think, quite unreasonable. For example, when you can buy a founders package, and that's, you know, you buy the game now and you get some cool stuff. And I went ahead and I bought the $50 founders package. Which, you know, worked okay, but for $50 I got the game. Obviously the game's free though, so I mean that's really not much. You get a founder's badge on the forums on warframe.com, and then you also get a exclusive Excalibur skin that you can use, so you have that as well. But you know, that was $50, so that was a little rough. Outside of that, I mean, the $50 package I'd say is worth it. There's one that's like $200, which is just nuts. And there's really, you know, I thought that was pretty unreasonable. But hey, you know, you can only do what you pay, I guess. I would not pay as much as my Xbox just to get an exclusive skin and founder's badge and some faster XP level up or something. I have no idea. But there's also a $20 pack for those of you who just want to get the game and get a couple plat, which is nice. So whatever kind of floats your boat. These are not available on Steam. You'll have to go to warframe.com to buy them. But the game is available for free on Steam now. It was added this week. It's just Warframe. It's on the homepage, if I believe. And it's a pretty small download for now, which is surprising because it has a lot of good material in it. And I definitely recommend you guys checking it out. I'll be putting up more Warframe videos, and if you want to see some Warframe stuff, we will be live streaming Warframe quite frequently over the next couple days. It's just easier for me to do because I don't have to, you know, hardcore level up or anything or dedicate a ton of time to it in order to enjoy the game. So that's kind of the highlight there. But if you did enjoy this video, please feel free to like it. I would really appreciate it. Also, feel free to drop me a comment thinking what you guys think of Warframe, or if you're Warframe veterans, if you guys are still enjoying it. And that'll be it for today's video, guys. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video and are looking for other video game content, please feel free to subscribe to me here at Avialence Media. I am Avialence. This is my media, so it's Avialence Media. You know how it works. And that's kind of it, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great weekend. And hopefully, if some of you guys pick up Warframe, please feel free to let me know. Maybe we'll get some groups going. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. Have a good evening.